Friday, November the 6th version of Sunrise to Sunset with Pastor Gene. Today we're going to look at 1 Peter 5. In every institution, in every organization, in every group, there are those who lead and there are those who follow. In the beginning of the early church, there was a question always about what was going to happen in terms of leadership, particularly as the disciples began to be martyred. Who was going to take over? How were things going to go forward? And that need for direction in leadership, coupled with the increasing persecution, created a context out of which many people in the early church had to figure out, what's this need to look like? Well, in 1 Peter, it begins with the first verses, "Now as an elder myself and a witness of the sufferings of Christ, as well as one who shares in the glory to be revealed, I exhort the elders among you to tend the flock of God that is in your charge, exercising the oversight, not under compulsion, but willingly, as God would have you do it, not for sordid gain, but eagerly." Leadership in the life of the church comes out of a sense of being called to leadership. It's something that we do because we see it as an act of obedience to God. And we don't do it for our own gain. We do it for the work of the kingdom, for the kingdom's gain. So Peter goes through this and says that we are supposed, gives us some example about being humble, reminding us that God, in verse 5, that God opposes the proud and gives grace to the humble. So it's to our advantage to practice humility, not to set ourselves up as some kind of better than anybody else standard, but to live according to the grace that God affords every human being, because every human being has a claim on God's kind offices. And we need to respect that, particularly here in the household of the faithful. We lift up God. We don't lift up ourselves. And the surest way to know who is being true to their leadership calling is to look at what they are promoting. Are they promoting themselves, or are they promoting Christ? And it's a real easy thing to see once your eyes and ears and heart get attuned to it. We're supposed to be promoting Jesus in all things, not ourselves. Look at verse 9 for just a minute. Back up to verse 8. "Discipline yourselves, keep alert. Like a roaring lion, your adversary, the devil, prowls around looking for someone to devour. Resist him, steadfast in your faith, for you know that your brothers and sisters in all the world are undergoing the same kinds of suffering." Whether you believe in the devil or not, I happen to believe in it because I've had many battles with the devil. Whether you happen to believe in it or not, the fact is there are forces and powers that are seeking to harm us. There are forces and there are powers that might lead us away from following the will of God, and we need to resist those forces and powers. Whether you call them the devil or Satan or just evil or whatever, but whatever takes us away from the will of God, those are the things that we as elders in the church need to be leading people away from in every way, and of course at every turn. This letter was written to encourage. This epistle was written to encourage. It was written to remind us that there is new life and that victory is to be gained if we will stand fast in our faith. And I hope that we'll do that from sunrise to sunset.